Right, that is the racetrack, just down there. What you can see over there, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but that over there is turn 2. So the long straight runs behind me. The long straight runs all the way behind me, 2 streets further over. Big left-hander at turn 1 just over there. Down a little squirt down the short section here to another right-angled left-hander of turn 2, and back along this straight that runs right underneath our hotel. So that's the kind of rough geography. Looks like a gorgeous, beautiful day today. Looks quite hot, actually, which is a great start. I'm just about to go and have breakfast and then head off to work. So it's Thursday today, the media day in the paddock. So I will come back to you after I've been to the track and tell you what we've all discovered over the course of Thursday of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Johnny Herbert and I have fallen out. He came up to me today at the track and said, right, I've got to go out. I'm going to go and interview some drivers on the track walk. Can I borrow your electric skateboard? I said, yeah, of course, Johnny. No worries, mate. Take it away. I gave him a little tutorial. He did fall off it once, which I would love to show you the footage of, but I can't. But I said, yeah, go ahead, Johnny. Take it away, mate. It'll be great fun. Have a good time on it. Be careful. Bring it back. He did bring it back, but look at it. Look what he's done. I've had this thing for over a year. I haven't as much as put a scuff on it. I look after this. It's my favourite thing. It's my most prized possession. I gave it to Johnny for 5 minutes. And look what he's done. He's taken half the grip tape off it. That annoys me. That really annoys me. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't his fault, but, you know. Anyway, so me and Johnny have got some relationship rebuilding to do. Apart from that, it was a pretty good day at the track. Very hot today, really hot, although as soon as the sun does go down, the temperature drops like a stone. Much, much cooler in the evening. But as far as the day goes, it was pretty good. I guess the biggest bit of news, if you like, that's come out of the media day, out of the interviews that happened all day long, I guess was really Daniel Ricciardo putting some clarity to the rumours about his future. For the last few weeks and races, there's been lots of talk of Daniel, where will he go for 2019? Lots of talk that he may have even signed a pre-contract contract or a pre-contract agreement with Ferrari that gives him a period of exclusivity with the Italian team, so he can't talk to anyone else. Daniel's come out today and absolutely rubbished that, put it to bed, said it's not true. The only people that he's spoken to so far about his future is Red Bull. Now, I always read these things with a tiny pinch of salt, because the fact that he says he hasn't spoken to anybody apart from Red Bull doesn't mean necessarily that his people, his management team, haven't spoken to other parties. That's quite a common thing to do, and those statements, carefully worded statements, are not lies. But I suspect, as Daniel says, Daniel himself hasn't spoken to anybody apart from his bosses at Red Bull. But I thought it was interesting. I thought that means that, nobody has put an offer on the table to him. Nobody's put a contract in front of him and said, here you go, do you want to sign it, apart from his current employers. And it sounds like the fact that he hasn't signed that contract offer from Red Bull, that presumably he's holding out for, a bit more cash or slightly better terms, or he's holding out to see, if the red team or the silver team are going to put a contract under his nose. And, you'd have to say, with the way his performances are going right now, either of those two teams, are highly likely to do that. He's kind of said today that he will give it until the summer break, the August break, to make a decision on his future. So I guess that's when we will find out exactly what's going to happen. It will also be when his own team, Red Bull, find out what's going to happen. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that one. I went for a lap of the track on the skateboard myself. And it's a good track, this one. It's very long. It's got some really quite interesting sections. I mean, the hill that goes up through the castle walls, the medieval castle walls, if you remember that from last year, quite picturesque part of the circuit, incredibly narrow. But the hill that goes up through those castle walls is also very steep. The skateboard made it up there, but it is quite an incline. And then that straight, that long, flat section that comes all the way along past the pits. I mean, that is incredibly long and incredibly fast on a Formula One car. I was speaking to a local from Baku here today who says that there is a high chance we might get rain on Sunday. And although I haven't actually seen a weather forecast that says that, I'm kind of inclined to trust the locals when it comes to weather. They say very, very high winds and possible rain. So, I mean, much as I don't really want to be out working in the rain on Sunday, it would be great to spice up this Grand Prix, wouldn't it? A bit of rain on Sunday. So keep an eye on that one. Pretty strong rumours as well today in the paddock about McLaren having a bit of a reshuffle or a reorganisation at the top of their technical structure. So Tim Goss, highly rumoured today and certainly reported across various sites. Tim Goss, who is the chief technical officer, and this hasn't been confirmed by McLaren, but quite strong rumours are starting to circle in the paddock that he has been removed from his position as chief technical officer. And speaking to the guys down there, I mean, because performance has been so low and lots of promises have failed to be delivered on over a reasonable period of time now, and the excuse or the reason that had been given, which was the Honda problems over the last few years, switching to Renault clearly hasn't cured those problems, and McLaren still have a reasonable deficit to the other teams with the same power unit. And they've missed their performance targets by some way, and it looks like now heads may be starting to roll, with potentially Tim Goss being the first. I worked with Tim. He's been at McLaren for forever, for a long time. I worked with him when I was there for many years. He sort of leads the design department alongside Pete Pedromo. So pretty senior figure. And, if you believe the rumours, he could be the first of more people to take the fall over their lack of performance. So I think clearly something has to change at McLaren. Things haven't been working. And I think patience is running out. So perhaps Tim Goss has been the first fall guy, and it might be that there could be others to follow. So keep an eye on that one. But things not all looking rosy at McLaren as we thought they might with this new Renault power unit. And I think that was even compounded really because one of their rivals, one of their competitors with the same power unit, won the last Grand Prix, and that just hammers home the performance deficit they have. So not great times at McLaren. The rest of the pit lane though, and the paddock, seemingly pretty happy, pretty content, and looking forward to this race. I think it's one of those races that offers opportunity, as I said in yesterday's video, for various reasons, but it's highly likely that we'll have a safety car at some point here. And we've already seen this year how that can really liven up the Grand Prix and totally bring it to life and change everything, flip it all on its head in a moment, So I think we've got a good weekend ahead, and I'm really looking forward to getting into it. Tomorrow we finally see cars on track, where we'll see some teams, I think, really experimenting tomorrow with downforce levels and setups, because this is a tricky one to get right. Every circuit is a compromise with your setup, but this is a massive compromise between the incredibly slow and tight, twisty sections of this track compared to that incredibly long, flat-out section where you need to prioritize that to achieve maximum top speed. And the cars that can't achieve a maximum top speed will be lost on that straight. Doesn't matter how much grip they got in the corners, they will get swallowed up on that straight. So I guess a kind of experimental day for most people tomorrow, but I can't wait to find out how it all goes. and I will bring you an update hopefully when I come back from the track tomorrow. See you then.